most powerful way to grow isn't by doing more, but by doing nothing. Because in a world that's constantly demanding more from you, the most revolutionary thing that you can do is pause. To stop running, to stop chasing, and simply be. Now, I know that sounds counterintuitive in a world that praises hustle culture and staying busy. But you see, no real change happens or no life change happens when you race from one task to the next. You get up, you go to work, you come back, you make yourself dinner, watch television, scroll on social media in between all of that, and just go back to sleep. That's not how you change your life. That's how you exist in your life. And if you're convinced that if you stop for even a second, you're somehow falling behind, you couldn't be more wrong. You see, physiologically, humans aren't wired to always be busy. You aren't built to constantly be in motion. In fact, a study by Harvard University showed that when you allow yourself to do nothing, it actually activates your brain's default mode network, which is DMN. It's this very network that is responsible for integrating our past experiences, processing our current emotions, and even planning for the future. It's in these idle moments that our brain works on things that we're not even consciously aware of, whether that is recharging and organizing itself, handling unconscious tasks, connecting the dots, or even making sense of the noise. In fact, studies have shown that we will engage ourselves in something that makes us unhappy than sit still. And that is just unfortunate. Yet, many of us still choose to keep ourselves busy. But why? Because stillness feels uncomfortable. Culturally, doing nothing means wasting time, and we have been made to believe that more output means more progress. But what we do not recognize is that when we're doing nothing, our brain isn't idle. Quite the opposite. Our brain is actually supercharging itself. This is, in fact, the reason why our best ideas actually come in the shower or while taking a walk. This is because human beings aren't designed to continuously expend energy without rest. And if you push yourself past that point, you face burnout, a deep, soul crushing exhaustion that impacts not just your work, but your relationships, your health, and your happiness. So think about how often you avoid sitting with your own feelings. You don't allow yourself to reflect or reconcile with what's really going on inside. And when you don't sit with those emotions, when you refuse to even acknowledge them, you give them more power. So those feelings grow and fester. They're bubbling just under the surface, waiting for a moment to explode. But if you just took time to be still, you can acknowledge and process them, take back that control before they take control of you. This is why creativity thrives in stillness. When you step away from the noise and stop trying to force ideas, suddenly you see the bigger picture. You start to gain perspective. You connect the seemingly random thoughts that were floating around in your subconscious. This is where the magic happens. When you allow your mind to wander freely without pressure. But stillness is actually more important than that. It's about focusing on what truly matters. We get so caught up in this rat race, chasing success, productivity, and status that we forget to direct our attention to the things that truly, truly matter, that really, really count. Whether it's family, it's health, our own state of mind. Stillness gives your mind to ask these really tough questions. What am I really chasing? What do I truly want? And when am I slipping into those destructive habits or negative thought cycles? And maybe how can I even learn to break out of them? That is why teachers, coaches, and mentors focus on asking meta questions. I personally, in my coaching practice, incorporate what I call break events. Now, these are intentional moments where I work with the client to stop all that noise, all that external chaos, and just be. And in that stillness, we reflect together. Now, this helps them make asking the right questions almost second nature so they can reflect on what am I feeling? What have I learned? What really needs to change? It is these moments of pause that really help my clients see their lives differently, but also clearly. Because in this stillness, they allow their minds to catch up with their lives. So, how can you start? Well, you don't need to start with long stretches of time. Just begin with 5 or 10 minutes each day of this week, wherein you schedule an appointment with yourself. Yes, actually schedule it so it becomes that non negotiable time of the day, like any other meeting that you wouldn't want to miss. So, unplug all that technology, close your eyes, and breathe and let your mind rest. When you feel restless or bored, acknowledge it without judgment and sit in that discomfort because that is, in fact, part of that process. And practice it where you can. It does not necessarily have to be your home or when you're about to sleep. It could be just a micro break at work where you go to pick up that coffee from the cafeteria and you hold that warm cup of coffee tightly in your fingers and take a minute to sip and reflect. If you struggle with this, come reach out and I will be your accountability partner through all of this. You see, stillness is in the absence of action. It's the most powerful action that you can actually take. So stop fighting that stillness. And if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button. But most definitely, I think you will like this next video right here. So I'll see you there. Bye.